What's up, guys? I got my old friend Jeremy Warfel on the show tonight. Jeremy and I go back to pretty much my very beginning in this hobby, and we've got a long, awesome history together. And he's here to hang out tonight. You might be wondering where he's been, what he's been up to, what happened. Did anything happen? Is he all right? Let's talk about all that and kind of get into it. I think it's something that a whole bunch of y'all might need to hear a little piece of. Maybe not a big piece, but anyhow, stick around. I got a fun show for you. Let's get to it. Good evening, everybody. It's 7 o'clock here in Minnesota. Man, we got a little heat wave today. Got up to like 16 degrees. The car wash was hopping. Everybody wants to get the salt and the dirt off. It's not quite like the groundhog not seeing his shadow or whatever. Actually, our guest is from Pennsylvania. I have a little word with this whole groundhog thing with Jeremy. Might be a little played out for me. Anyway, I hope that you're doing well. Life is good. I'm A-okay. I hope that you're doing okay. Thanks for being here tonight. I got Jeremy Warfel from Warfel's Morphs in the green room. Jeremy and I are good friends, go back quite a ways in our own histories in this hobby. So it's always cool to hang out with Jeremy. I'm glad that he's back. We'll catch up in just a moment. I vended in La Crosse, Wisconsin this past week. You might be saying to yourself, I've never heard of La Crosse, Wisconsin. That's okay. I haven't either. I suspect it's French for the cross or the crossing right there on the shores of the Mississippi River. It's a nice little town. I have to admit, so first off, it's with Scaled Up Exotics. And I've always had sort of a tough time there. It's a very small market, and I don't know anything about the demographics of the market, and I don't mean like skin color and religion. I mean, economic. Do you have a luxury money or the type of work or jobs that play to owning reptiles? That's the demographics I'm talking about. So I don't know anything about it. It's always been okay to do. And I actually didn't do it last year because I thought, well, if it's not great, I'm not going to do it. And what I found was that it's close enough to home. It's about 2 hours from home, that not being present in the market, I started to see some post-show sales fall off where people down the line were like, hey, let me call Adam, see what's going on. And also, believe it or not, ASF rodent sales dropped off. So those regional and local shows are really important. So anyway, I pull on my big boy pants. I go, you know what? Not all work can be glamorous. Go do the work, see what happens. Man, I had the best La Crosse show ever, a really solid show this weekend. And I had a good time, and it was a good way to kick off my live show vending for this year. So anyhow, thanks to La Crosse. Shout out to Scaled Up Exotics. Speaking of Scaled Up, not Scaled Up Exotics, Scaled Up Expos. Speaking of Scaled Up Expos, I'll be in Madison, Wisconsin this week, coming Sunday, February 8th, Super Bowl Sunday. Is a little tough, but the thing I like, hear me out on this. The thing I like about Scaled Up Expos, they're fast, man. They're fast. VIP is at 10 o'clock. General admission is at 11. Show's over at 3 o'clock. That's it. No downtime. Get in, get out. If you want to buy something, you better make your decision. It's almost like speed dating, and it's fantastic. And I know some people are like, why would you go through all that work setting up? I don't care how long I'm set up for. If the money's good that I'm taking home, and if the money's good I'm taking home, I'd rather do it faster. So it's pretty cool. I don't know. I might be home in time for the second half of the Super Bowl, depending on what time kickoff. I don't even know what time kickoff is this year. But what I'm saying is it'll be done long before anybody's worried about the Super Bowl. So I'm looking forward to it, and I'm not concerned that it's on Super Bowl Sunday. So I hope to see you if you're anywhere in the area. Madison is a new market for me. It's right near Milwaukee as well. And then you got the Illinois, Wisconsin border towns, Janesville, was it Rockville or Rockford, and Beloit. So come on out. I hope I get to see you guys there. I hope I get to meet you. So I'll let you know how it goes. Also on lacrosse, quick shout out to Chase. Hang on, let me get this right. Chase Down Reptiles, I believe. I got to meet Chase there, and Chase Down Reptiles, and Chase joined the Patreon too. So how about that? Making friends and then building long-term relationships. So it was a good show. I'm glad that I went and did it, and I hope to see you guys this weekend. What else? I put out a video about 2026 being the year of live selling. Yes, it has a slant towards Palm Street in it. I'm fully transparent about that, but I talk about what the offering that Morph Market has coming up, or that they've just unveiled. I haven't experienced it yet, but that is in there. But I talk about the context of Morph Market deciding to get into that realm of live selling. Also TikTok, Amazon, whatnot. And there's lots of links to interesting articles and articles that companies like Forbes, Inc. have written, and then some digital magazines as well. So anyhow, if you're curious about live selling, check that out. Or if you want some food for thought on where I think it's going, I think, spoiler, I think 2026 will be the year that live selling is like, oh, this is how we're going to do this stuff now. So anyhow, if you're interested in that, or feel like maybe you should get on board, you can check out Palm Street. All of Proper Royals live content comes to you ad-free, thanks to Palm Street, among all the other advertisers as well that you're going to see in a minute. I think that's all I got for announcements. Otherwise, just the usual. Check out properroyals.com. Morph Market's being updated. I don't have any new clutches coming or hatching for still a few more weeks yet, so nothing super exciting. But I'm also not even caught up entering everything into Husbandry Pro from last season. So I'll have new stuff on the website, and I definitely, obviously, will have my inventory out at the shows with me. And Tinley is right around the corner, but we got a couple weeks before we need to dive into Tinley content. Jeremy Warfels, Jeremy and I got started certainly on YouTube and doing live streams, podcast shows, whatever you want to call them. Around the same time in 2021, I think. I got to ask him about that here. So, I mean, that's going back like I think August is my 5-year anniversary. So it's going back quite some time. And he and I always clicked. It was good to bounce ideas off of each other. And at the time, like, we were the new faces. And so, like, we didn't have to compete with each other or throw elbows at each other. We had the other existing people to do that towards. But actually, I mean, Jeremy always kept to himself and kept things fun and light and easy. He hosts breeder cookouts in the summertime that he's been kind enough to both invite me to, but also have me entertain and play music at, and have them as gigs. A nice little write-off for a summer trip to Pennsylvania, if I do say so myself. So anyhow, recently Jeremy's faced a couple changes. Maybe I'll let him speak for himself. I don't want to put words in his mouth. But when we were chatting, I was like, man, we got to do an episode about this. Plus, we got to hang out. I always like hanging out with an old friend. And I like to think that the people that are some of my closest friends are some of the best people that I know too. So I think he's a really great person. He's hosted me in his house with his family numerous times, fed me. I've eaten at his table, drank a beer or two with him. And I'm just really thankful for Jeremy and this hobby. So welcome back to the Proper Royal stage, Jeremy Warfel. Jeremy,
what's up, everybody? Man?
How you doing?
Doing good, dude. Doing good. This is the first time I gotta say, like, I had to dust the mic off, dust the webcam off. There was it's been a little bit since this stuff's been used.
Was it like a refreshing feeling, or was it like I don't know if I want to dive back into this or what? What are you thinking?
It was a refreshing feeling. It wasn't I don't feel like doing this. I've been getting some kicks in the butt that, hey, you need to pick the camera and the microphone back up again and get back into the swing of it. Heard on a couple people said that there's a few people that think I like got out of the game and just disappeared and just up and vanished. And I guess I kind of did up and vanish, but I'm still in the game.
You still got I was say you got a big green room with snake racks and stuff behind you. So
Yep.
And before I forget, I'm sorry, Jen, I just saw your question from Eerie Reptiles. You know what? I'm going to catch up on that on Thursday, or just check out the video. I talk about it a little bit, but the short answer is I think they're two different things. They're similar and have good benefits, but I think they're different things. So yeah, Jeremy, I wanted to actually, coincidentally enough, another Jeremy that I know saw the post today, and he says, shoot, had I done any show prep, I would have had this pulled up. It says, hey, I saw you're going to have Jeremy Warfel on tonight. Ask him why they don't do their Sunday night show anymore. I liked watching those guys on Sundays. So you got a little shout out, but you know, the audience wants to know what's up, what's going on, man. And by the way, oh, there he is right there. Thrive Reptiles.
Thank you, Thrive.
So what's been going on?
Life, dude. Partway through, I'm gonna say probably about beginning of fall-ish. Around that time, end of summer, beginning of fall, my co-worker that made my life a hell of a lot easier because we were both on the same brainwave. Like, we didn't have to talk during the day. Like, we could just go, we'd bust jobs out. I'd get home at a good time. Everything was hunky-dory. He ended up just up and leaving. And that ended up, they threw me another guy that basically, as my one boss had put it when I went in there and had to sit down, talk with him, he gets stuff done, but his pace is just barely not reverse. It was bad. So I went from getting home anywhere between 2 to 3, maybe 4 o'clock was a late day. And I was getting home 6, 7, 8 o'clock some nights.
And you've been doing these, like, you do like super early mornings though, too. I think I remember you were talking about, like, even like at the barbecues, I was like, I probably won't see it because I'll be gone at whatever time. And you're like, I might already be out of here. Like, I mean, you're doing early days, right?
Yeah. My days started at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
So it was long days. I get home, eat with the family, tuck the kids in basically most nights, come down in here and work. And it just started really like taking its toll. Like, you can really become a slave to this thing.
Yeah. And if also, like, if orders or routines change wildly, I wrestle with, not so much what you're talking about, but if I get thrown off a day, if a surprise comes up, if there's something that has to be tended to, but it's feeding day or it's rat day, man, it's 4 days before I'm caught back up, and I'm grumpy the whole time because I feel like I'm just in the weeds, you know. And even my wife will be like, what do you like? Why don't you just finish it? And I'm like, I'm trying.
Yep.
I'm not known to be one with spare time in my day, you know, like I need this to fit just right, you know?
Yep. And that was the thing. Like, my routine and schedule was perfect the way I had redone it. Like, this year, like, I was going through a rack a day. It was fine. It was great. You know, no issues. It went smooth up until that whole hiccup. Yeah. And then things got, I'd come home, depending what time it was. If I was super tired because of whatever was going on that day, I'd be like, all right, I'm just going to pass out tonight. I'll get it tomorrow. Well, then things get pushed like back a day, like you said. Next thing you know, Saturday's getting taken up. And, Hadley and like, it was one thing when Hadley and Hudson were little, because they, you can't do a whole lot with little babies. Like, they don't want to go out and do stuff.
Well, let's be honest. Dads are pretty useless for a little while. As far as the kid, sorry, this is coming across wrong.
I know what you meant.
Dads are there to support the moms who are what the kids need, and they support everybody by doing that. But actually, like, a tiny baby, there's not a whole lot. I mean, other than being supportive and changing some diapers. I mean, there's
yep.
We get in the way. I'm going to hear it for that comment, but I say it out of experience and trying to be helpful. I've been told many times, you're good.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, see, now, I mean, Hadley is going to be 6. Hudson's going to be 3 in like a week.
Wow. Yeah.
So, the demands for dad are a lot higher now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've gotten back into archery shooting, which I had used to do years and years ago. Once dad passed away a couple years ago, that kind of I nixed me for a little bit. Like I just didn't want to do anything that kind of reminded me of the things that I did with him a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Chris Shelley, we all love our buddy Chris, BNS Reptilia. He has been on me for years. Well, ever since it happened, I should say, to pick the bow back up. Let's get back out there and let's go hunting together. And he's been on me. And finally I thought, you know what? I can't just sit back in my shell. I've got you just got to get out there and do it.
Yeah. So, well, and grieving takes time and fortunately we're not good at losing somebody as close to us as our parents. And I can say that from experience. You gotta, but it is nice when that moment comes where you go, all right, I think I'm ready to put a foot out in front and start taking some steps.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I picked the bow up, went shooting one day. I thought, at the end of it, obviously a little sore. I mean, it's been, it had been a little bit of time since I shot the bow. But I've sat down that night. I thought that felt really good.
Yeah.
That felt really, really good. So I went and did it a couple more times. Thought, you know what? I'm going to go treat myself to a new bow. Got myself a new bow. And next thing you know, Hadley says that she wants to start shooting.
Oh, cool, man.
All right. We'll get the princess a bow.
Yeah.
Went and got her outfitted. Got Kara outfitted because she started showing a little bit of interest in it.
That's cool.
So now the only person that doesn't have a bow that shoots real arrows is Hudson, but he's even got a little suction cup bow. So he can partake in some of the fun.
I just had a vision of a 3-year-old.
I really did think about getting him a little bow that shoots actual arrows. I just kind of thought, I don't know if I'm quite that brave. I used to teach little kids about starting at 3 years ago when I worked at an archery shop back. And God, this is going to date me. That would have been 2004, somewhere around 2004-ish. I used to help teach little kids how to shoot. So it wouldn't have been out of the question to get him his own little bow. It's one of those, I don't think he's quite really mentally ready for it yet.
So you might need to know at 3, you might need to know the individual child and makes use some discretion. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So, I've been, that's been one thing where I try to take Hadley out at least twice a week and get her shooting because she enjoys it. It gets me out shooting still. I actually went out and bought another bow after the new one. So now I've got a hunting bow and I've got a target bow.
Oh, cool.
So I kind of dove deep into that one. But yeah, so that's been taking up a lot of time. Just, making time for doing stuff with the kids, doing stuff with Kara. I literally left myself become a slave to this. And I think that's one thing that some people might not realize has happened or want to admit has happened, but there is a life outside of doing all of this.
Yeah. I had a conversation, actually, a conversation today with a guy that was the best man at my wedding, incredibly close friend of mine. I've known him. We're coming up on knowing each other for 30 years now. And we both worked in restaurants, and I wouldn't say we were chuckling. We were being cynical looking back at the mentality of, well, if you're not working, 60, 70 hours a week, you're insert whatever phrase here that is the most derogatory thing you could think of, you can't cut it. And you're probably not good. You're not really the right kind of person for this stuff or something. And I was like, how dumb does that sound? And we believed it. But there's a heavy dose of that in this hobby or people that turn it into a business. And I think that's with entrepreneurship in general, where there's this mindset, and I'm incredibly guilty of it, where if you're not killing yourself every moment, you think you're dropping the ball or you're shortchanging yourself or you're leaving opportunity on the table. And that was really like that part was where I was like, that's why I want to get Jeremy on tonight, because like, I think that we can look this stuff up pretty fast and learn and understand and believe. You don't do the best work when you're burnout, ground down, in a bad headspace, not excited about what you're doing. And I found it in music. I love playing music. I love touring. There's the 5th, 6th, 7th night in a row where you're going, I'm tired. I'm hungover. I don't want to lift this guitar up. I don't want to see that dude. I don't want to hear that song again. Like, you just got to refresh sometimes, and I thought that was a really, really important part to get to. What'd you change? What'd you do different? What was the reset? What'd the reset look like for you?
Reset was, just basically I dropped off the face of the earth. I stopped doing the weekly YouTube videos, stopped doing the weekly lives, just kind of took the one thing that didn't really need to be done off the plate.
Mm-hmm.
Because you used to do videos as well all the time, like weekly videos. You've got the filming, you've got the editing, you've got the thumbnail you got to do. On the live stream aspect, you got to go through looking for guests. You got to hope that someone gets back to you. Like, there's a lot of time spent behind the scenes doing all of that stuff. And when you don't have much time to do it, and you've got to be up at, for lack of better words, the ass crack of dawn.
Right.
You kind of got to start making the feasible cuts where you can. And, neglecting the animals, there's no way in hell I'm going to do that.
Right.
So the things that can be lost were the YouTube stuff. Now, do I plan on getting back into the lives? I've been talking with John and some of the other guys, we're going to do like a pop-up live here and there. It's not going to be like a regularly scheduled thing. It's going to be more of a, hey, I'm feeling frisky tonight. Let's jump on and, chill for an hour or 2 hours or whatever.
Right.
But like, I got rid of ditched the YouTube stuff. Plus the other thing was too, and I had talked to you about this, Adam, with YouTube. Another reason why I kind of nixed the YouTube thing was, like, I like getting my kids involved with it.
Mm-hmm.
Love doing the egg cuttings with them. The kids love doing the egg cuttings.
Yeah.
Well, for whatever reason, YouTube won't promote your content if you've got kids in it very well. When you've got, I'd have to look. I've got over 4,000 subs. Like, I think it might be like 43, 4,500, somewhere in there. When you've got that many subs and you're looking at a video and it's only getting maybe 100 views, it's kind of like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And I get, maybe not everybody wants to see egg cuttings. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe not everybody enjoyed watching the kids, get loud and excited over what was going on, which I will say, Hudson does get a little squealy sometimes in his excitement. But that, to me, like, that brought more joy sharing those experiences than making a stupid video did. So it's like, if the videos aren't performing well, why am I taking the time out of my day away from my family to do those videos? I'll just share the experiences with them, not worry about filming it. And we'll just have a jolly good time and do it and still keep them involved. And, we'll just share the memories together like that.
Yeah, I guess I have, well, first off, absolutely, you should keep it fun and it should be fulfilling. For me, I guess I still have a little bit more passion or excitement, because like I'm with you up to the point where, like, I found it freeing when I finally said, you know what, I don't care about the number of clicks I get. I don't care how often I'm supposed to do this for an algorithm. Probably a little like a year and a half ago, like all of last year, I think I only put out like 4 or 5 videos, because I was just like, man, I'm videoed. There's over 800 videos on my channel. Like, for Pete's sake, what in God's name have I had to say for 800 video, right? Like, like, okay, Adam, give it a rest, And And I had been trying to keep up that breakneck schedule. And I was like, you know what? If I don't have something that I feel like warrants saying or can bring value, now that value might be entertainment, it might be camaraderie, it might be hanging out. But if I can't bring some sort of value or something that I believe in, I'm not screwing around with this. And I wouldn't say I didn't believe in what I was saying, but a lot of times I was just like, okay, I got to make a video. Let me go poke around Google. Let me type ball python into Google and see the 99 things that come up and find one of them to talk about and make a video. And that strategy actually was really good to get me practice making videos. But man, I got 800 practices on them. I am practiced. I am good kind of deal. Doesn't mean I don't need to learn or grow or change, but I was fine. But it was for me, it was really freeing to go, okay, to use your example, I would have been like, okay, I love doing this with the kids, and this will be a cool memento that maybe I could share. And if other people want to see it, cool. But if not, now I got this tangible thing. This is probably a little bit dark, but we talked about losing a parent. Like, I don't have a recording or a video or a sound of my mother's voice. And it is hard for me to still, 15 years she's been gone. It's hard for me to say that out loud. And stupid things screw with us, but that's something that screws with me. And at least I can go, well, you know, one day my son's damn sure going to have plenty of recordings of my voice. You know, if I leave him nothing else, he's going to have my voice ringing in his head. So like, I find little things like that, but the part of, I felt freed when I was able to go, look, I just want to be authentic in what I say, and I don't care about the clicks. Now that clashes with business sometimes when you're trying to land deals and people go, well, send me your metrics. And you go, all right, if that's how you do business, that's how you do business. But I can't promise you that my metrics are through the roof, because I'm probably a little more authentic and just straight to the point and play less games than some other people do. And I'll leave it there. But nonetheless, though, I think you're spot on where you got to go. Like, if you had to make a video to be able to eat dinner and feed your family, of course you're going to do it and you're going to figure it out. But beyond that, you don't owe anybody. Nobody owes anybody anything. You don't know the algorithm anything. You don't owe clicks to anything. You don't owe anything other than business arrangements and agreements. And those can be talked through anyhow, you know?
The other thing, like the one thing you had said, you know, is spot on. If there were so many times I recorded something just to try to come up with like good like a content, you know, going over something that somebody might look up or need to know about, until I was like, I would go down a rabbit hole on that topic. And it would, like, when I'd start editing it, I'd be like, I started at point A. I ended up at the other freaking end of the alphabet. By the end of it, it's a 20-minute video. And it's like, no one's going to watch beyond 10 minutes, probably, if that. It's like, so I'd try to, slim it down. She's like, this just, like, it wasn't flowing. It didn't sound right.
Just forced, right? Yeah.
So all that time trying to edit it just to delete it. It's just like I tried that so many times. I mean, there is some stuff, you know, where you can genuinely tell, you know, I was into what I was talking about.
Right.
There were some videos where it's just like, you can just tell I was just there trying to, you know, pump something out that was informative, and I wasn't exactly feeling it.
Yeah. And like I say, for anybody watching, I actually do think that's a really good strategy to start with, because you're going to get your reps. You're going to learn how to edit. You're going to learn how to talk to a camera and all of that. But at some point, like, the authenticity and the passion is really what people want. One thing I really believe in music, like every now and again, there'll be like a real music nerd that'll be like, those weren't the lyrics. And I'll be like, I don't really think anybody cares what I say. I think they care how I make them feel and how I connect with them. And like, the thing with most lyrics is, like, you have a couple anchor words that have to rhyme, but how you get to those words, you could just put gibberish in there a lot of times. So and I don't like having a music stand in front of me, between me and the audience, because I want to connect, you know? So yeah, but what I mean is, that's true in YouTube videos too. Like, if we, like, you and I were probably watching Billy and Austin doing their egg races at the same time when we first were getting going. Like there was nothing more exciting than those guys seeing what I have no idea what their egg combos were. I don't recall one bit what the combos were that they were hitting or discovering. I remember how happy and enthusiastic and fun those guys were having, you know? So anyway, that I think about that a lot, but I think it's good to start with people. If you're like, hey, I want to start a YouTube channel, what are 20 videos I should do? I don't know, type ball pythons into Google, let it autofill, and there you go. Make a list of 20 videos to do. But at some point you got to go, this is the part I like. This is what I'm into. You were always into, and I think still are, but TSK, Xanthic, and me talking about gravel, super gravel. I was like, okay, this is what I'm feeling it here. You know, this is what I'm into.
I say the Axanthic stuff. I still love the Axanthic stuff.
Yeah.
The carpet pythons. I mean, everybody here knows if you watch the channel, like these guys here, they're in my opinion the coolest snake to ever be on this earth. Like nothing beats them guys.
Well, so I earlier I asked, and you talked about some like family activities about what the reset looked like with animals and the snakes and the hobby. What did your reset look like? Did you downsize? Did you change focus? Did you not change anything? Did you just say I'm cutting the media out of my life and the rest was fine? How did that all work?
It was actually a mix. It was a mix of that plus a little bit of adding. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. Okay. So you bring some down, you add some other stuff. Talk us through it, man.
So sitting back, watching what's going on with the ball pythons and since it's, ball python based, community that we've got, it's been kind of rough for me to watch what some of this stuff has done price wise. And don't get me wrong. I don't want to make it sound like that's all I'm worried about, is money with these animals, but let's be honest, money keeps us, rolling and what keeps the lights on.
It doesn't hurt for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there were some animals I had here they weren't my passion snakes, but they were here just to make cool, like clown combos or whatever, just some really cool, pretty snakes. Well, that stuff, what once was maybe $300 to $500 animals, right now it's probably about $50, $50 to $100 snakes, sadly. Slightly dramatic on that, but they took a massive hit. So it's like, all right, I need to dwindle down on just the animals I was breeding just to kind of have show stuff and a little bit of something for everybody. I've been pushing those out. If it's not Axanthic related, it's getting out of here. Basically, it's got to be Axanthic, visual Axanthic, head Axanthic, or I'm getting it into the Axanthic stuff. Like I've got a banana Odie adder male that he's had DG, but I'm putting him into my Axanthic stuff. He'll stick around here for a year or two. I'll move him on out from after that.
Right.
But basically the ball pythons, it's just been slowly easing everything out that isn't dealing with my Axanthic projects.
Well, and we hear in the long run to work, which you're just wildly most excited about. And like, I know, and actually you could preach it better than I could. If you look at what John Daig did, I mean, he took it to the extreme and he did an amazing, and it's what he's known for. We're talking about his name, right? Audience, if you know what we're talking about, everything in his collection is Axanthic. And it didn't limit him. He has clown Axanthics. He has, pied Axanthic. He has all anything you could imagine, but it's all Axanthic and it's Axanthic focused. And that was the aha moment for me when I said, I got to find a gene or a combo that I can take the John Daig route with. And that was super gravel, really. Although now I'm enjoying just gravel by itself and all these different combos, but how's it going to tie back to gravel is always my question on that.
And that was the one thing with me, like whenever everybody in my group always makes fun of me, they can put up one of the most colorful, beautiful ball pythons that they've got or that they've made so far. my brain automatically switches it to how can I, what's that going to look like black and white? Like I can't help it. That's just what my brain does. So like, if I don't think it's going to look really good in black and white, I'm not going to keep it around either. Like it's like, I've got to really focus in, because the other thing is like with the carpets, I've got these behind me, but I've also got 8 that are yearlings. So they're going to be growing up, so that they're going to take up a lot more space, and carpets make a lot more babies than ball pythons. So I've got to kind of plan ahead as to what do I want to work more with.
Right.
And that's also part of the feeling aspect of it too, is I enjoy working with the carpets 1,000 times more than the ball pythons.
You've always been excited about those carpets, man. And seriously, like you have. I mean, you light up talking about the carpets, man.
I can't, like, if anybody has ever watched Jurassic World, whenever I work with these guys, I feel like Owen Grady. Like that's how they're, I don't know, they're just a completely different beast. They're on key, like they don't look like, like to me, I always tell people with ball pythons, they look like the lights are on. Nobody is probably home. The carpets, like the second they see you in the room, they're watching you, they're paying attention to what's going on. And I enjoy that interaction. Like, yeah, there's something going on in that head. And that's what drives me to them so much.
They're cool. I will admit, they never quite clicked with me. And like, I never want to throw around like various, I wouldn't even say medical conditions, diagnoses, but I get obsessive and I get compulsive about things that I'm excited about. And I just go headlong into them, hence still doing this show and ball pythons. So I never looked outside of ball pythons. Like I am wildly intrigued by ball pythons for different reasons than you're talking about. Yeah, I would admit, I don't think, I'm not going to train them to, sit and roll over kind of deal. Yep. But the beauty that's within them is incredible to me. And so that gets me going and gets me turned on. So I've never really allowed myself the idea to be like, let me check that out. I might want to get one of those, or I might want to get into those, mostly because I know myself. If I'm sitting in a room with 13 guitars. Like if I get into something, there's going to be it's going to be a thing. I can't allow myself to get into some, or, buy a motorcycle or whatever, not that actually they terrify me. That's not a good example, but you get what I'm saying. So,
well, these guys are just as bad as that, dude. Like I got my first one, and the guy I got him from, he said, welcome to Morelia. I'll see you, next year. Yeah. And I chuckled. I was like, nah, dude. I was like, this is probably going to be my only one. I just want one that, I just want to have one because I've always wanted one. He laughed. He said, yep, I'll see you next year. Well, one turned into, like I said, I've got all these guys behind me. I've got 8 more that are yearlings. And then I've got three that are last year's babies that are sitting in the 1065 rack. Now those, and that's the other thing, like with ball pythons, carpets and balls are totally different. With ball pythons, you're playing the genetic game. Mm-hmm. Like you've got so many routes and combinations and everything to do different colors and looks. With the carpets, there's not as many genetics with them. And then you run into, if you want to stick with because everything's very lineage based. So if you want to stick with the pure stuff, jungles, you only have a X amount of genes to work with. Coastals only have X amount of genes to work with. And if you don't, if you're trying to keep the stuff pure, you can't branch out and cross anything. Mm. So it's a very unique realm, I guess is the way to put it.
Let me ask you on that idea. Would anybody know if you did cross it? Like,
depending on what it is, yeah.
You would. I mean, okay.
You can tell night and day. Like you can tell that there's influence from other stuff there.
Okay. So there's a prototype that you're aiming for the prototype, but then also trying to refine that prototype or magnify the best parts of that prototype. Is that how you would say?
Basically, yeah. I mean, with carpets, it's more line breeding. If you're keeping the stuff pure, so you're like, some people might, they might want very erratic patterns. Like I've got a male, I don't know if the male here on the bottom, you can't really see him very well because of how far he is.
Right.
But his pattern's very jumbled up. It's very crazy. But he's also got a lot of black pigment coming into where it should be yellow. Now, a lot of people would say that that's muddiness or dirtiness, but as he's aged, that's starting to get more and more black filled in there. And the one reason I wanted to keep him was because I thought he would end up being a darker baby or a darker adult. And carpet pythons have some of the best velvety blacks you will ever see on a snake.
Oh, cool.
And I would think, in my personal opinion, throughout the years, you can line breed for the blackest of the blacks and eventually end up with an all black carpet python. Nick Mutton is a perfect example. Shout out to him, because I've got 3 of his babies growing up, which is the ones in the 1065 rack, which were dreams of mine to own. They're called ivory carpet ivory jungles. Basically, it took him 20 plus years of line breeding to make a black and yellow snake turn black and white.
Oh, cool.
So he bred the palest of the yellows till that yellow turned white.
Yeah.
And now he's finally got some, I mean, they're gorgeous. Like axanthics hold nothing to these things. No, like hold my beer, basically. Like these things are black and white. And it's just a testament to something that's more geared to my way of thinking. Like I want to make something and say, I did that through all these years of hard work.
Yeah.
And sometimes for me personally, I feel like the ball pythons, you've got the here and now, and then that's old news. You got to be over here now to, kind of stay relevant or in the game type of deal.
Yeah. I see. You're not ever like, you're not done. You're not accomplished. Like even when you hit the accomplishment, it's what's the next kind of thing.
Yep.
How did the carpet python community see like the fall off like ball pythons did? And sure, in one way to look at it is in money, but in another way of did the people that had all the time and all the money during COVID, did they disappear too, or how has that looked?
Well, I will say this. I've had so many people message me wanting carpet pythons that they definitely outnumber the people messaging me buying ball pythons.
Well, I think you did a great job. I mean, speaking about working years, I think you did a great job as establishing yourself, certainly in the ball python world, as one of the carpet guys. I don't know in the carpet world if you did so successfully. I'm sure you made headway on it, but like as like the Venn diagram overlap of ball pythons and carpets, you're easily one of the voices that comes up and one of the names that comes up. I think you did a great job with that. Yeah.
And then like the carpets were initially just to be I really love these things. Once I decided I was going to get into breeding with them, it's like, I really love these things. I'm just going to do them as a side thing. But like you just said, I kind of inadvertently became the carpet guy that does ball pythons now. Like, it was kind of funny. It's just like so many people, oh, well, hey, Jeremy's got some beautiful jungles over there. Go over there, check his thing out. Not many people were coming over to look at the ball pythons. They were coming looking for the carpet pythons. And sorry, I heard a noise back there. Like it sounded like a thud. I'm like, what? Anyway, now have I made the big footprint in the carpet industry? In all honesty, I mean, there's so many bigger name people in the carpet community than what I am.
Right.
But in my area, I think I have made at least a subtle footprint.
I think there's sorry, I know I'm cutting you off a little bit. I think this is a really important thing. I've always said, and Keith brought it up earlier, what if you feel like you have I think he used the expression face made for radio. I think there's an appetite for I think there's an audience for every presenter out there. And just because there's these icons up in the sky, well, there's new people that might not feel comfortable trying to relate to those icons, but but they feel comfortable relating to Jeremy, who's a step or two ahead of them. And then suddenly you're building and growing together kind of deal. And I think that's not to be overlooked in the ball python world. If we all thought we were going to be Justin tomorrow, or we were holding ourselves to that standard to be Justin tomorrow, well, of course we'd fail. But if we said, first I could be myself and I'm passionate about it, but if I have something to offer to somebody who's starting out, they might be excited to hang out and grow with me kind of deal. Sorry, my camera's being funny, but I think my audio is still going. And
yeah, you're coming through audio wise.
Yeah, let me add this thing here. There we go. I have a I would be embarrassed to show you guys the picture. I have a laptop, so then you got to have the little thing that comes out of it, like the media port. I think they call it a dongle. So you got your dongle hanging out there, which sounds awkward to say. And then from the camera, you have these questionable connections. And then I have it all taped down onto my desk with painter's tape. And what happens is I can't sit still, right? And I have these little fidget things like, oh, wait, let me turn on my camera again. I have these little fidget things like a steel ball bearing that I hold in my hand while I'm interviewing people. And if I roll it around and I hit my little painter's tape area over here, you now see what has happened to me. So I've got to sit still and, act like a professional and keep the camera going,
Oh, dude, that's just funny. That's something that would happen to me. It's good to know that it doesn't happen to just me with stuff like that.
See, Keith, here's all you got to do right there. Just turn into a big little blob, a dot on the screen, and then just say dongle. And suddenly everybody's like, let me tune into this guy right here.
Oh, man.
But, all right.
With what you had asked about with the carpets, though, too, and on how how has that been impacted? I have not, now granted, last year I got skunked on baby carpets. My females did not go. The girl, Chris left me bar, didn't go. My girl didn't go. And I thought I had it in the bag. No worries. Ultrasound even told me I was good.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing ever came.
How many females were you expecting from? I don't know enough about breeding carpets to ask you intelligent questions here, but how many did you get skunked on? I
had just two. I had my female, and then Chris left me bar his girl, which both produced the year before.
Mm-hmm.
And this past year, they decided, hey, we're not going to do it. They built up. Ultrasound told me, we've got eggs. You could run that ultrasound across there clear as day. You could see them.
Yeah.
Measure them. They were beyond where ovulation size should have been, to where, okay, these are eggs. And I don't know what happened, because they should ovulate right around 25 mil. And I was hitting things at like over 30.
Wow.
And it was just kind of like, I marked the calendar, the sheds happened, hey, we're good to go. And I just started doing countdowns. It's like, okay, well, we're 3 weeks past, due date. And I just kept going. I'm just like, what's going on? Through the ultrasound on them, everything was gone. I'm like, what? So it was a very humbling experience, to say the least, that, well, just when you think you've got it figured.
Oh, yeah.
You don't.
Right.
Even with the best technology to show you what's going on, you can't control what's going on.
Yeah, Mother Nature's she's gonna do her thing. How many, you mentioned earlier, you get bigger clutches. Am I remembering right? Like when I was there, I think you had like some clutches in like the 14 size, or is it bigger than that?
Let's see. I think that first year that you were up, I had 15 eggs out of the one girl.
Okay.
Now her last clutch, actually, well, I guess it would have been for 24. The last two clutches is when the last two clutches were. Each girl had all just shy of, I think, 20 babies each.
Hello. Wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you can wow. That's a little better return than our little ball python friends here. I'll tell you that, man.
And
That's nice.
looking at it,
And better price stability as well then?
yeah. And that's
Yeah.
the thing, like looking at it, if you look at it from a monetary standpoint, okay, and with what your average ball python goes for right now, I'm going to say is your average is probably what, 300, 3 to
Um,
5 probably
well,
on average.
actually I could tell you of everything I sold ranging from, $30 and $40 wholesale animals to $2,200 ultramel clowns. My average in 2025, which is what sunk me, was like 258 or 256 bucks was
Okay.
the average of everything I sold in 2025. Now, I will say, and I don't want to turn this into a whole market discussion. The fourth quarter of 2025 was bonkers. It was the best quarter I've ever had. And this show this past weekend was good. January's been, it was okay. It was solid. It wasn't, usually I write January off essentially, and it was better than that. So I don't know if just in my market there's been a shift, or for me it feels like a corner's been turned. But to get back to your specific discussion here, yeah, like 250 was my number in 2025.
Okay.
But if I put it this way though, if people are wondering, if I can average between 300 and 400 an animal like I've done in the past, I actually make pretty good money at that point. Yeah.
And that's the thing though too, like with ball pythons, like you just mentioned, you're going to have your total misses where they're basically $20 and or wholesale animals, and you're gonna but you can go up to that $2,500, $5,000, like the sky's the limit with them.
Now on carpets, so like in theory on ball pythons we do have a baseline of this gene, and this gene. And if we look at the market definition of that gene combo, we see a range. But you're saying in carpets, is it a lot more discretion based, as this is a great example of this archetype and this represents this very well. So I have to imagine there's a bit of haggling, and you have to be able to field a little bit of, your opinion is very high of the animal, and some buyer is going, well, look at the pigments here, or the definition here, or how do those conversations go?
Well, in all honesty, I have not had anybody try to beat me up on a carpet python yet. Knock on wood. Like, I've been very fortunate on that. Here's the cool thing with the carpets. When they're babies, that's the worst they're gonna look. Like, they start out as they're drab, they're ugly looking. Like, I know it sounds terrible salesmanship on them, but when those babies hatch, that's Jeremy, the worst that snake's gonna look.
Humans are that way too when they first come. Let me tell you, nobody wants to admit it, but my goodness, they are rough when they come out, man.
I don't know. I haven't been appreciating in the looks here as much, Adam. I'm starting to go down, go back downhill again. But like, where the balls, they start out the prettiest as they're babies, and normally genes, genetics, pending, as they age, they get worse looking. They start browning out a little bit more. We all know the gist. But as carpets age, they're like wine. They just get better. The yellows start coming in, like the actual colors, adult colors start filtering in around year to 2 years of age. So you don't really know fully what you're going to get as a baby.
Right.
But you kind of have to make an educated guess. And even some of the ugliest babies, I've gotten updated pictures on, and I'm just like, damn, I should have held that one back.
Oh, the ugly,
I wrote it off. It's like, all right, well, this one's, genuinely speaking, the more silver the baby, the better the yellows are going to be. And the dirtier, where the yellow should be, the dirtier that looks, normally those babies aren't going to be as vibrant looking. Well, some of these babies I left go, and Kike's got one of them. Granted, Kike's didn't look bad though. Like that, I think his was one that I was kind of lenient on just keeping. But Kike sends me, videos and post stuff up on Instagram and stuff here and there. And that was one I should have held on to. I think Phil's in the chat there from Finger Snakes. He always likes rubbing one in that he got off of me. and that was one I still claim I think I gave him the wrong animal. So, I mean, a lot of it is educated guess as to what they're going to look like as babies. But that being said, though, my average price for a carpet starts out at $4.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, there are some I'll start out at $6, depending on how I feel the animal's going to look.
Yeah.
If it's, if I don't mind if it stays, it's going to get a higher price tag because I got a little bit better feeling of how it's going to look than some of the other ones. But on average, they start out at $4. Now, keep in mind also with the carpets, I'm not missing any genetic combos. I'm making just plain Jane, how Mother Nature intended, basically, jungle carpet pythons. Like, I'm not playing an odds game. I'm making X number of badass little babies.
Yeah.
So
have you gotten to a point where you can get into the line breeding aspect of it? So that being, you produce some, you identified your best trait, or not, I don't mean traits as genetics. I mean traits as in discernible visual traits. And now you're breeding back or you're breeding together. Have you gotten to that point yet?
I've got one of the females, actually, it would be this girl right here. That's one of the females I produced from my first year making them. She should be ready to go next year.
Okay.
So she held her yellows beautifully. Like, I sweet talk her all the time. It's like, please do not make it don't go the wrong direction. Just keep going where you're going, girl. Just keep it up. Now her brother, which is down below, I'm borderline ready to pair him. I thought about throwing him into his mom and try, because he's got that dark, and she kind of throws a little bit of darkness every once in a while too, and see if I can't get some really crazy pattern and dark babies and everything. But I've got a really awesome, I forget what his lineage is. He's an MIA, Miami International Airport, and something else I forget, but very high ranking lineage. And I threw him in with the female this year just because it's like he's an older animal, so hopefully he'll pick up what he needs to do a little bit faster than something that's only 2 years old. And that male never left that female alone up until I took him out today, because they were actually separated for a change. So,
oh, nice. There you go.
I've got a good feeling. Normally, when that happens, the deed has been done,
right?
But I'm going to ultrasound tomorrow and see if I need to maybe throw in the closer.
Okay.
But next year will be the start of fine tuning and me, using some of the animals that I've actually produced.
Nice. Because that's like the sort of the essence of the line breeding, or breeding for very specific traits rather than genetics, right?
Yeah.
Very nice.
And here's the cool thing too. Like, I've got multiple directions I want to go with stuff. I've got stuff where I want to try to breed, to make the blackest carpet python that's out there. And then I've also got a thing going where I want to be making a carpet that is just a very crazy patterned looking animal, where it's full blown, pure jungle, but doesn't look like it's a jungle.
Okay.
It's got, scattered pattern, not the, the traditional banded or a traditional striped look, just something that looks like you went hog wild crazy on it and you didn't care what you were doing pattern wise.
That would be fun, because I mean the carpets are pretty iconically with that banded or striped look on that. What's the I don't do a whole lot of like, check out this snake, but it's a different snake than a ball python. You up for getting one out for the audience, or is that not going to work at night?
No, I can get one out.
Well, how about this? It's about time for me to cut some promos. I'll pay some bills. You see if one of the snakes will behave, and we'll be back here in just a moment or two.
That'll work.
Okay, cool. Guys, stick around then. We'll get some a carpet python on the show, and I'll put it up on the big screen for you. So stick around, support Jeremy, and hang out and be entertained. Also, good show behind the show commentary there in the chat. There's a good, go back and check it out. There's a good discussion on gross revenue, average prices. People scoff at averages, and Aaron brought up really, really good points. If you do 50 clutches, 300 offspring, and you average $250 a snake, that's still 75 grand. And everything's relative, and you have overhead, and you got to figure out how to make it work. But 75 grand is a good chunk of cheese to help you figure out how to make things work, right? So, and that actually belies the point that I was making, where if I can get up above 300 or to 350 average, that's really where I can make some money. And I'll have to do a video sometime on my average sale price over the past few years of each year. But that's another video for another time. Guys, check out Redline Shipping. If you want people you can call, oh, come on, get that there. All right, there we go. Get the focus. If you want people you could call for support when you're shipping your live animals that are important to you, you could call. There's a phone number. You can call at Redline. They'll talk to you about how to package. Temps are changing. I can't believe it. Here in Minnesota on Thursday, we're going to have a shipping window open. Check out properroyals.com. But if you have questions, you're going to be able to call them. They're going to help you out. They have the materials and the resources, the physical stuff that you could buy from them, the appropriate shipping equipment as well. Their user interface is fantastic, and you're going to get the people with the best institutional relationships and knowledge with FedEx as well. So Redline Shipping, use the promo code PROPER5 on that. I just sent out a bunch of sheds today to shedtesting.com. That's Charlie Williams. You're going to hear the name phenome.com. Phenome and Shed Testing are now one. Phenome is a reptile genetics company, and Charlie is still handling all the shed testing, but he is now a part of Phenome. So you'll start to hear that transition over time, but that's still the same great company, and Charlie is still running the show on the shed testing portion of it. In the past 6 or 8 months now, it's been a little while now, but Charlie upped the game with the lab that he uses so that he could process more sheds faster. He could do it more accurately because there's less human interaction when you're dealing with a commercial lab, less hands handling the sheds, making errors, all of that sort of thing. So you're getting it more accurately, faster, and he lowered the prices. Faster, better, cheaper. Man, you can't ask for more. Use the promo code PROPER10, get yourself 10% off of 2 orders of shed tests. So you can order as many tests per order as you want, and 2 times you can get 10% off, Proper 10. And that 10% is 10% off the prices that he just lowered things to. Low prices, you're saying, Adam? Yeah, you could do a 10-panel recessive test for 10 recessives, $85, $8.50 per test when you purchase it that way. Fantastic, right? Sundog Serpents. I think I saw Josh in here not too long ago. That is Josh and Sarah Allen down in Orlando. I think technically they're not in Orlando. They're just outside. But for everybody not from the center of Florida, down in Orlando, excellent folks to work with. I used to vend with Sarah on a regular occasion. Sundog and I, we've bought snakes from each other. I sell to them. They've sold to me. We're working on a clown monsoon project together this year. They're people that I trust and do business with. They too work with TSK's TSK Clown project. Also Super Asphalts. I know that they had a puzzle clutch available. I think still some, but definitely was some earlier this year. Check them out. And I believe there was word of a chocolate hypo clown, not chocolate, stranger hypo clown clutch as well. So give them a shot. Check them out. See their inventory on Morph Market. You can follow them on Instagram as well. Charlie Ryan is Reagan Renee Royal Pythons. He's out of Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Check out ReaganRenee.com. You don't have to put Reagan Renee Royal Pythons.com. That's not it. ReaganRenee.com. Go check that out. His full inventory is on ReaganRenee.com, and he's going to hook you up for going there. You're going to get free shipping on everything that you purchase on ReaganRenee.com. If you need a little more sauce to close the deal, you're going to get 10% off if you use proper 10 in the promo code. And then when you go there, he's got these cool value add calculators. We've all seen like genetics calculators before. Charlie is putting his analytics and his day job to use, or his analytics skills and expertise from his day job. He's got calculators that'll help you decide what your pairing should be, will help you decide whether you should test the offspring or just sell them as is, as an unknown or an uncertain or just a potential. It's pretty neat to see, and it's something that's not available anywhere else. That's free. There's no upcharge for that or add-on fees or anything like that. So go check out ReaganRenee.com. Charlie is working Kryptons, DG, G-Stripe, candy pies, and clowns, all in single, double, triple, and now I think even some quad het ingredients. So a lot going on there, but he's doing just killer stuff with Krypton. So go check out ReaganRenee.com. Keeper Kane, that is a YouTube channel from Kane and Michelle Fritz Wallace. A little belated happy birthday from yesterday to Michelle. Happy birthday to you. I hope it was a wonderful day, and get Kane to get yourself something nice. You know what I mean? Keeper Kane channel is all about Kane and Michelle's animals at their house. They do breed ball pythons. They keep big snakes. They have aquatics, tarantulas. It's all there in one place. Excellent people. If you're in almost any Patreon in the ball python world, you probably know Kane, because I think he's in all of them. And he's very active and supportive. He's very cool. So I appreciate Kane helping me keep the lights on. Go check out the Keeper Kane YouTube channel. That's right here on YouTube. You're already here. Keeper Kane is the name. And I'd appreciate you checking them out. Last but not least, as Jeremy Warfel here mentioned earlier, is Chris at BNS Reptilia. Excellent person in the industry. The knowledge, the experience, the camaraderie, mentorship, friendship from Chris has been invaluable. He is my vending partner at Tinley in October. He is BNS Reptilia because along with ball pythons, he deals with blood pythons, locality, boas, colubrids of all shapes and sizes, Pituophis if you're into the bull snakes and the pine snakes, and he will have those at Tinley in October. If you asked him real nicely, he might even send a few my way for me to have some in March as well. But actually, I would just be the middleman. You can order them directly from Chris as well on that. Thanks so much to Chris for his camaraderie. And we have a couple animals we've invested in together as well. So another business partner there as well. Guys, these are all people from within our industry and within our hobby supporting our hobby. If you wouldn't mind, give them a look-see when you get a few down moments. All of their links are down below in the description. The last thing I'll tell you about in the description is there is a link to the Dr. Tom Harbin Scholarship Fund at the University of Auburn. You can contribute any amount there. No amount is too small. It goes to an endowment. It is set up financially to perpetuate itself perpetually. It will go on forever. Only the dividends are distributed. So that base amount, which when you contribute, the base amount grows and makes the dividends that can be distributed in the form of reptile-focused veterinary scholarships at the University of Auburn. Those grow, and that is how this scholarship is funded. I think it is an amazing legacy. I don't like to think of myself after my own death, but I could only be so fortunate to have such a cool legacy. So anyway, if you're thinking it is a little tax time, I think you could still make some 2020, 25 deductions and contributions. So anyhow, go check them out. Thank you all very much for all the support. Audience, you're at the tip of that iceberg for me. Cheers. Thank you very much. Jeremy, what do we got in your hand there, man? Let me put you on the big screen.
This is the jungle female that I produced my first year.
Okay.
She's the one to hold back.
What's her name? Is this Xena here?
No. Xena. Yeah, we don't get Xena out.
I was going to say that
out.
Yeah, that's what I thought was the rule. Like I remember I wasn't going to deal with Xena.
Yeah, Xena also ended up becoming Xander because she was a he. Dude, that was a whole that was a whole big thing my first season. You know, it just goes to show you sometimes snakes can be tricky with sexing too.
Yeah.
But no, that was also a whole big fiasco of, what the heck's going on? Why aren't my snakes breeding?
Yeah.
But
Now,
as you can see, we got it figured out. This is the female from that very first clutch that I did.
All right. So if you had to do like a 30-second carpet pythons for dummies, it's a beautiful snake. It passes what we call the grandma test. That is a vibrant, high contrast, high pattern snake. What are you looking for beyond that?
Beyond that, I mean, a lot of people think that these guys are really nippy and just evil little snakes. Well, you can tell that they are anything but.
Yeah, that one's great, huh?
I mean, some of them, yes, they could be little jerks, but I know a couple ball pythons that I've got over in one of the racks that they're also jerks.
Right.
So, carpets are not the evil little snake that they have been branded. They can be just sweet and easy to work with, but you can see like she doesn't sit still. She's out investigating. They're always trying to, go somewhere. So they're interactive and they keep you on your toes. They keep you thinking.
Right. Jeremy, not you, Jeremy in the audience asked earlier, how big will those get? Do they top out around, what am I thinking, around 7 feet, or how big do they get?
My male, Xena, because Xena's like, that's just kind of what his name's been branded as from the dawning of time. He's 7 foot, all but 7 foot, if not, I mean, just maybe a touch shy of 7. So, I mean, and that's big for a jungle. On average, 4 to 6 foot is your average jungle.
Okay.
Males will get larger than the females, though, normally.
Gotcha. All right.
So
very nice. And how old is the one that you have there? I think you mentioned you produced that one last year. So we're
this girl was made in 23.
Oh, okay. All right. So
she's
every bit of 2 years old. Yeah.
Yeah. So on average, like you can start breeding them around, you've got to use your best judgment. Around 3.5, 4 years of age is when you can start breeding them.
Oh, okay. So it's a long path, a long time.
Yeah. And then that's the other thing too. Like, ball pythons, it's kind of like a revolving door.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to constantly be upgrading and everything, your genetics. With these guys, like it's a long haul. I mean, you build a connection with an animal that you're keeping for that long. Like you build a bond with it.
Right.
So that's the other aspect that I love about working with them.
Yeah. Kai told me a long time ago, man, I still remember this quote. He says the male for ball pythons, the males are your 1099 contractors and the females are your long-term employees that stay with you and you build a relationship with. And I still, that's one of my favorite quotes ever that I learned on this show.
He's right though too. I mean, and that's just the harsh reality of it. And that's like I said, that's the one thing I do like about the carpets though, is that it's not that revolving door.
Yeah.
The other nice thing is with them, it's nice to have multiples of, females and males. You can switch up who's being bred that year. Give one female off a year, use the other female. You're still getting babies. You can switch up what lineages you're producing and cranking out. Like there's a lot of neat different aspects you can go with these guys.
Yeah. Yep. Man, that's a beautiful snake there, man.
Well, let me try to get one of the other hidden things that I don't know how many people know that I actually have.
All right. We're, breaking news here, unveiling things that people haven't seen. I have an idea of what's coming.
I don't know how it's going to go. Normally, it's friendly.
Okay.
We'll see, though.
This is actually one of those species that it did get if it's what I think it is, it did get my attention. And I was like, that'd be fun as a pet. I want to get one for the shop. I haven't come around to it yet. And like I say, I know myself. I want to be careful before I go allowing myself to jump down rabbit holes, Let me see in the meantime here, Mission Morphs. This is fantastic. Mission Morph says 1 baby from every clutch will be sold and donated to the fund. And Aaron, I will get that car wash video. I'll even make a special video on the finances of the car wash, which, spoiler, will be a massive disappointment. But silver's hot right now, especially in quarters before 1964, and I have tens of thousands of quarters to sift through in my life. What do you got here, Jeremy?
This is my one venture, as I said, and how I've kind of expanded into some other things. Well, I've got some chondros growing up. Now, this is a Tamika crossed with Jayapura bloodline.
Okay.
So it's just, locality based with the green trees. But this little one, I don't know what the sex of it is yet. But, I mean, you can just see, beautiful greens, the sky blues.
Yep. Now, is it on its way to becoming green, or is it on its way to becoming blue?
Actually, should be its adult colors.
Okay, that's it. That's where it's. And okay, so then where did it start? Because their color changes are wild. Like some will start as like red, right?
Yes, some start as red, some start as yellow. This one was actually a yellow Neo.
Okay.
So, but it went through its color change really, really early. I mean, again, green trees get that bad rap for being bitey, just bitey and nippy and mean. And
yeah, that one's really doing really nice. I had to take care of a buddy's one time when I was still even new at ball pythons, and I opened the tub and I went to feed it with like the feeding distance that you generally would build in to feed a ball python, and that thing jumped right past the prey and launched right onto my thumb, man. Yep. That was a stunner. But they are, to me, and this is definitely a eye of the beholder kind of statement, to me, those green tree pythons are just some of the most just beautiful animals. They mystify me. I would love to have one in just in the shop on display as a pet. I don't know if it's appropriate to keep them in the same, not in the same area as a ball python, but I mean in the same environment, or they're in its own cage. But anyway, what I'm saying is I don't know anything about them, but they are gorgeous animals. I love looking at them. Even the way they just hang on their perches is incredible. Dude, and beautiful.
They're so majestic looking.
Yeah,
they're just majestic. That's the only way to put it. Care wise, I mean, a lot of people think that they're hard to care for. They're actually really easy.
Yeah.
A lot of people keep them at just ambient temps.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you can around 83 Fahrenheit, you're golden.
Well, I mean, my room stays sunny and 78 year round, but I don't know if that's warm enough for them or not, though. But I'm sure you get a little heat panel,
a little bit of right? You put it back. Like right now, I have these in a it's a sea serpent's rack.
Mm-hmm.
Now their permanent enclosures are done. I just have to pick them up. I was half borderline ready to tell you when you asked me about coming on, hey, let's wait a couple weeks because then I'll have the new enclosures and I can make these guys be the background.
Oh, I gotcha.
Because I've actually got this one, which has gone through the color change fully. I've got one that's going through the change, and then I've got a Biak that doesn't really like me very much.
Fits the mold a little bit better.
Yeah, she fits the mold a little bit better. She's not bad, but she's definitely not this.
Yeah.
It was kind of funny. I have 2 Tamikas crossed with Jayapuras, and then I had 2 Biaks, and the 2 Biaks came from Chris from a collection him and I had purchased together.
Mm-hmm.
And the one was I swear he hated the fact that he existed on this earth. Literally, you open up the tub and all he did was try to kill you. That was it. That was his main focus in life, was he was angry he even existed. So I eventually told Chris, I was like, dude, it's I don't mind dealing with a snake that's got an attitude, but this is a little over the top for me. He goes, if you want it, he goes, I'll just take him. I said, all right, fine. I say, yours, done. I'm done. I'm done. This isn't enjoyable at this point.
Right,
And it was funny. I told Chris, dude, it's the whole car ride here, because we actually did the swap at Shady Maple at one of our breeder breakfasts that we did. I told him, I was like, dude, this animal has been nothing but thumping the little Rubbermaid tub he's in that he can't see out of.
Right.
But he's been thumping in that tub, striking at nothing.
Oh.
And Chris thought I was being, dramatic over it. And he messaged me when he got home. He goes, dude, he goes, all I heard the whole trip home was thud, thud, thud. Because he didn't stop. That's like, I know he hates the world, man. So that one, like those two kind of, fit the bill a little bit more. But I mean, an animal that's so majestic looks like this, and you can actually handle them and work with them.
Right.
Like, and plus it really matches the walls. Like
I was going to say, man, you couldn't have gotten that color match any tighter with the lighting on coming off of the snake. There were a couple of questions I missed from Josh at Sundog, and maybe we'll come to that one in just a second. Are you planning on, or what are your thoughts on making the hybrid Carpandros?
Nope.
No. Oh, okay.
Nope,
So there's no hesitation. Yeah. What drives that quick answer?
That hybrids in the green tree and the Morelia world is the biggest way, in my opinion, to be stuck with a bunch of animals that don't move.
Okay.
Because a lot of people, like, they want pure localities, pure lineage stuff. That hybrid market, that's a very small market, in my opinion. Like, that's, you're going to be hard pressed to be able to sell some of that stuff.
Fair enough. I don't have a dog in that fight whatsoever, so it's interesting to me. My thought on it, and this is probably from my scars in Florida with FWC, when the day comes that whoever they are can't identify what's what, they just go, screw it. You can't have any of them. And that really is my biggest argument that I don't like for like burn balls. Like, I don't need FWC going, that looks like it has 1/8 Burmese in it, or, I'm out of that world. I'm in Minneapolis now, but we all know Florida's kind of the bellwether of national precedent that trickles down, at least where scenarios not involving temperature are. That's not a condemnation. I'm no judge. I'm no decider. I'm no anything. That's my thoughts that go into it. So I was curious when you said no way so quick, what your driving thought was.
And the other thing behind it too is, and green trees aren't exactly as bad about this, just because you can get more green, like you can import more green trees.
Mm-hmm.
But with the carpets, you can't get any more carpets in the country. Like, what's here is what's here.
Carpets are the what's here model. Yeah.
Yep. So, like, there's no importing fresh blood. I mean, you can get Papuans still from Papua New Guinea, but you can't get jungles. You can't get coastals. You can't get anything that comes from mainland Australia anymore. So you've got to watch about, and that's where the lineage thing comes into play too. You've got to watch what you're doing with what, because what's here is all that's here.
Yeah.
So, like, I was used to, I don't want to say, I was like, oh, I'll never be a purist. I'll never be a purist. But the more I got to thinking about it, it's like, if you want to, have reputable stock for a matter of speaking, you've got to watch what you do with it, because, you don't want to, I don't want to say blur the lines, but if you blur the lines, there's no going back. Once you get a cross, there's no going back from it. And some of the crosses, you can't really tell. I mean, most you can, but some of them you can't tell that it's really in there, depending on how the influence went.
Well, and second, I'm sure that gets magnified second and third generation. If you decide, well, let me, all right, I'll stick with point taken. Josh was asking, what is the care routine like for carpets when you had your carpet out? He had asked that. I missed that question at the time.
The care for them, it's super similar to the balls. A lot of people actually keep them too warm though. Like, my hot spots for the carpets is 85.
Okay.
Like, so I don't go the farther, like, if I start encroaching up on that 90-degree mark, you can tell a difference in the attitude. Like, they'll start getting grumpier and a little bit more, screw you, I'm not out to deal with your crap today. Yeah. So, and around like 83 to 85, spot spot on perfect for them. And then I give them a night drop too. Like I'll let them drop down to like 80 degrees at nighttime. And during breeding season, and their nighttime temps go down to 70.
Nice.
And then I slowly bring them back up then. And on that uprise with the temps is when they start getting into breeding mode then.
Yeah. And then what about feeding, cleaning, substrate?
Cocoa husk, as far as house enclosures and stuff, like I've got some of them in a 4x18 or 4x2x18. But if you can give them more height, they'll definitely make use of it, because the ones here behind me, those are 4x2x2s.
Sure. Yeah.
But looking towards the future that, hey, I've got a lot of animals I'm going to be making room for, I downsized the height to 18 because it lets me get one more enclosure on the stack.
Yeah, we could see that's the two stacks behind you, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
This is the original set, and then that's a newly, this is the new set.
Got it.
New setup.
Gotcha.
Now I'm turning. I've had the original set that the other ones used to be in. That's what's getting turned into the enclosures for the green trees. I had a divider put in, so that way I didn't have to go buy new enclosures. My enclosure guy just put a divider in there, redid the lighting. So now I'll have a stack of 2x2x2s.
Man, that's cool. That's a good use, man. I like that. Jeremy, take us home on this one. What's the future like for you? We're gonna see you around. You waiting to find the inspiration as far as media. What about vending? Talk about Warfel's Morphs looking forward, man.
Vending, the next show I'll be at is actually AARPE at Fredericksburg, Virginia.
Oh,
I will be there with our brother Chris from BNS.
Yeah.
So we'll be vending that together. That is my next show.
When is that? In March sometime? Just right around Tinley, right?
It's the beginning of March, and then I get back from there, and then I think the end of March is Gettysburg. Okay. So I've got two big shows in March that I'll be at. You know, I'm going to start doing the lives here and there. Videos, I got to do an updated video. I want to show off some of these carpets. I wanted to get the one of the ivories out, but sometimes carpets, once they've seen the lights go out, especially the babies, you're just asking for a little bit of trouble.
Yeah.
And with them being little, I don't want bad experiences with them, because right now is the best time to make the good impressions.
There you go. Okay.
So I need to get a video out so that way people can see those, let them know that I've got them. But I mean, I'm not going anywhere. Downsizing, changing gears, more focus on the carpets than the balls, adding these beauties in there, just getting stuff that drives my passion a little bit better.
Yeah, man.
I enjoy working with a little bit more. That's maybe not as prevalent and as much of it out there. That's kind of where I think I see myself going with everything with Warfel's Morphs. I mean, I'm always going to do the axanthic stuff. I've got some bang stuff, which anybody that's sleeping on bang, just stop sleeping, get on the train. I've got, hopefully next year, I don't think they're going to be big enough this year. I've got some bang double-head axanthic clown males that will be ready to rock and roll for 27 season. I've got some other killer-looking bang stuff. Like there's some stuff I need to just do updated videos on to kind of show and highlight that project a little bit, because some of it's like I've got a GHI bang clown, a GHI Mojave bang clown. I think it's still out for debate, but I think I've got the Batman bang. So it's that one's really hard to tell because of bang gets better as it gets older, and you can tell that there's something going on with that animal that the other Batman doesn't have going on with it. But I'm not going to 100% say that we've got it. I just think we've got it.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, if I would have, that would be three animals that as to my knowledge, they're the only ones that exist in the world.
Right.
At this point.
Yep.
So, I mean, there's still some really cool ball python stuff here that I'm really excited for Obviously my Axanthic stuff. I checked today. We've got, I think, our second ovulation. I think I missed the first one. Definitely caught the second one though, because she looks like she's going to explode.
Right.
And that's, right off the rip, Axanthic stuff. That would be Axanthic combos, Het Clown, Pos Het DG. I mean, if it's not Axanthic, it's going to be out. We're just going to be black and white snakes, the carpets, and eventually these awesome little guys.
Jeremy, I'm glad you took the time to refill your tank a little bit, and it's cool to hang out. Like I say, I think of what kind of where we started, and here we are now, still hanging out. I'm so happy that that's the case, man. I appreciate it. My best to Kara, the kids, and to you too, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for being here tonight,
dude. Thank you very much for having me on. Like, I always enjoy sitting down, shooting it with you, and just hanging out. Like, the whole reason in case anybody doesn't know, the whole reason anybody ever had a Sunday show from me is because of Adam. He's the one that sparked this whole thing off. So, maybe he'll be the one that reignites that flame, and you all start getting your Sunday shows here and there intermittently and everything else.
Well, man, you don't know. There's no rules. You don't know anybody anything. And honestly, you're doing them a disservice if you're not excited about doing it. So when it's
very true,
when it's right, you're gonna know it, man. And hey, thanks for the kind words. You're the one that pressed record and started talking. Though you could say whatever you you did all that. So thank you very much, man.
Dude, thank you, man. Thank you.
It's been a pleasure, as always. And audience, next week, same place, same time. I got Justin Weinrich from Morph Jungle down in Florida. First time guest on the show. They're getting rarer and rarer out there, but Justin's awesome. We used to vend the same circuit. I've known of Justin for a long time. I'm seeing him in person on the vending show circuit, and we've gotten to know each other a little bit. It'll be really cool to connect with him, and I'm glad to finally have him on the show. So hope to see you next week. Go follow Warfel's Morphs if you're not on YouTube, Instagram. Where else? Morph Market. Where else yet, Jeremy?
Morph Market. We've got Husbandry Pro Store. That's probably the most up-to-date thing because I keep slacking on updating Morph Market. There is things up on Morph Market though, but YouTube, Instagram, I've been slacking on IG. YouTube's the main thing that I was hitting. So I guess at the moment I just need to get something going again.
Just follow and be ready. You never know when it's going to hit you, right?
Exactly.
All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. I'll keep it going on Tuesday nights. And thanks so much for being here. See you guys. Yeah, same intro, outro. It's all the same. Boom.